Happy Sunday, everybody. So let's do a little news of the week video before we kick off the first game of today's action in the MLS is Back tournament. And you notice I said we're about to kick off our first game, and that is because today the first game between DC United versus TFC that was supposed to happen at 9 a.m. Eastern Time and 6 a.m. Pacific Time was postponed. And the reason why it was postponed was because there were some unconfirmed positive cases from one player, and that there was also a couple of inclusive kind of tests that was involved with another player from both of these teams, and that is the reason why MLS have to, of course, postpone this game, because it doesn't really follow the right protocol to proceed. This game is going to take place. And listen, we're going to see this happen, and I won't be surprised this won't be the last time we're going to see this happen. And I know right now social media is probably acting up after seeing this, and they're gonna say, look, there you go, there's an example of why this is the reason why it's not safe to play. Yeah, but this is only the first time we have seen this happen, and that, again, I just feel like people need to stop overreacting and just realize that this is going to happen. And when you, of course, will have like that many players that you need to test throughout a day, there's gonna be times where unfortunately one of these cases is going to be either being positive or it's kind of inclusive, because it's not going to be a perfect system. But for all those people that are overreacting and say that this tournament is canceled, I have some bad news for you. This ain't gonna be canceled anytime soon, unless if there is just a major outbreak that is going on in the bubble. I just don't see how this one is going to be canceled, and that I do have a feeling that eventually we will get through the group stage, and possibly there could be a situation that we could possibly even get through to the knockout stage, and this tournament is going to be finished. Now, back on the first day of the MLS is Back tournament and the opening game, we saw a very scary incident when Dom Dwyer accidentally jabbed his hand into Andres Reyes' throat, and it looked like he was not only on the ground in a lot of pain, but it looked like he was just suffocating, and it was a very scary kind of incident. Now, I already, of course, openly criticized the medical team, of course, not going to the action of that, and decided to take forever to try to help out Andres Reyes to get onto the stretcher. But I also want to equally criticize in terms of someone, and I'm not going to name who it is, but you probably know who exactly it is. But somebody decided that he think it was a great idea to take this opportunity to make a stupid Black Lives Matter kind of tweet that say that this is an example of the whole I can't breathe moment and stuff like that, and it perfectly portrayed that, and that he also wished Andres Reyes a speedy recovery. Now, obviously, as you expected, that tweet received a lot of backlash, and it didn't take very long until the company that he was working with immediately let him go because of that bad look that it is. And you know, it's fair play to that company that, of course, he worked with. They immediately decided to let him go because that was just absolutely disgusting of what he actually did, and he rightfully so should have be let go of that company after that disgusting tweet that he put out. Now, talk about Andres Reyes and talk about what I put here on the board. Well, it was a bit of a miracle that a couple of days later we heard that he was actually okay, and that he's now back training with Inter Miami and is available against the Union. And the reason why I say it's a bit of a miracle is the fact that that injury that I saw, it looked like he could have been out for a long-term injury, and that in some way you could even say that that could potentially be a career-ending injury. But thankfully it wasn't a serious injury, and that he, of course, is okay, and that, yeah, it's great to see that he's now back with the team and look like he is going to be available against the Union. Whether or not, if he's going to start or not, I'm not quite sure, but it'll be great to see him playing on a couple of days when they play against the Union after that scary incident that he suffered back on opening night. Now, Borev, the SKC defender is now no longer going to be with SKC, as he is going to be heading back to his former club in Hungary. I believe SKC actually transferred him back to his former club, so they did get some nice sum of cash money in order to transfer him back to there. But yeah, this is kind of an interesting one. I guess maybe Barov was a little bit homesick, and the fact that, you know, it's always tough when you are a player that is coming from a foreign country and you know nothing about the culture, or you probably don't have a lot of people that, of course, are a close friend with you, and that you can easily get homesick of the country that you're from. So it seemed like maybe that is the case for Reyes, and that he decided to go back. And that, you know, for SKC, they do lose a little bit depth in terms of that defense. I mean, I know Barov is not a starters for that SKC backline, and he didn't really do a good job when he was with SKC, but he's a good depth piece that they can have in the defense, but unfortunately now they're not going to have, because he is now heading back to his former club in Hungary. There is reports suggest that the Loons is set to sign Emmanuel Reynoso for $4.5 million, and as much as I want to say that this is too good to be true, I really hope it is actually true, and that this would just be an absolute bargain that the Loons just got for Emmanuel Reynoso. Like, I remember when we first rumored to get him, they were thinking of have to pay like around $10 million to Boca Junior in order to just loan Emmanuel Reynoso. Now, I'm not quite sure when Minnesota does pay Boca Junior $4.5 million. Does that mean that this is just kind of a loan deal, and that is there going to be more information of the fact that if we decide to sell him to another club, Boca Junior is going to get some of that transfer fee? We don't know, but right now, $4.5 million for a guy that we've been chasing pretty much since last off season, and really is the missing piece to make this Minnesota team to be a real big threat in the league. Yeah, I really hope this is going to happen, and that hopefully when there's going to be more detail and eventually this signing is going to complete, yeah, this is just going to be an amazing signing for Minnesota. And even though he's not going to be available for this tournament, because, you know, you can't sign a player that is happening during this tournament and then just put him immediately in the MLS back tournament, it's going to really help our team once the tournament is over, and if we're going to restart the season heading into the playoffs of this season. Now, Minnesota have also signed a new contract extension for Roman Metenier. This is not a big surprise, because Metenier is a fan favorite, and he is very good in terms of in that full back position, not only defensively, but he also is very good going forward on the attack. Orlando City also signed a new contract extension to one of their players. That player, of course, is Tesha Akindele. Again, this one is not a big surprise either, because Tesha Akindele has surprisingly been more serviceable going forward, and have actually scored more goals than Dom Dwyer has for the team. And knowing the fact that Tesha Akindele and now Oscar Pereira is with Orlando City, there was no way Tesha Akindele was going away with this team. Like, you know, he is always well trusted by Oscar Pereira going back to his FC Dallas day, and now he is reunited with his old coach. You know that he's going to be staying with this team for a while. Atlanta United have also officially announced that they have signed Eric Lopez for $3.7 million over Olympia. So this will be interesting to see how this signing is going to go. And again, even though they of course signed Eric Lopez just recently, they cannot of course put him in the MLS is back tournament. And knowing what happened last night and how Atlanta lost that game and look very toothless going forward, they really wish Eric Lopez was eligible for this tournament, because I've heard a lot of good reviews about this guy, and he could be definitely a good backup for Joseph Martinez. And hopefully once this tournament is over, I'm assuming he's probably going to be a starter of this team, and is hopefully going to try to I'm not going to expect him to score as much goals as Joseph Martinez is going to do, but at least be a little bit of a threat going forward on the attack, and really score some goals from a striker position that Atlanta clearly missed with Joseph Martinez not going to be available at least till the end of the season. And then finally, unfortunately, we have to end this with a little bit of a somber note. Andre Flores, of course, opted out of the MLS is Back tournament due to the death of his father. And, you know, my sincere condolence and thoughts and prayers definitely toward him and the Flores family. It's always tough that you have to find out that, unfortunately, one of your loved ones, especially your father have passed away during this time. I mean, I know this week I also had a friend that unfortunately his father got passed away, and I know how tough he is dealing with the death of his father and how much grieving that he has to do. So I can imagine how Andre Flores is dealing with right now, and that, you know, I know in the long term the Timbers, you know, in this tournament they're going to definitely lose a bit of a threat going forward with Andre Flores not being in this tournament, but the big picture is that I hope you know he is doing well, and that certainly thoughts and prayers and my sincere condolence is toward Andre Flores, that is going through a very tough time in his life of losing a loved ones in these last couple of days. But either way, there you have it. That is pretty much it for the news of the week. There isn't really a lot of news that has happened in the last couple of days, because once the tournament, of course, started to begin, I didn't expect the fact that there was going to be some just crazy rumors, and just, at least I don't have to always talk about the whole COVID-19 situation, even though I know, I am aware there is a lot of concern about this tournament, of whether or not if it's going to complete. And as I said, I know there's a lot of overreaction right now over social media, which is why I just ignore all those overreaction whatsoever. And at time I do find it funny of how they overreact. And I am also aware that Florida, of course, just announced that they have reported a new record amount of cases. I think around 15,000 people was tested positive for this virus. So yeah, I'm aware things are looking very ugly in Florida, but as I said before, as long as this bubble is under control, and as long as if there's not just a crazy outbreak that is happening inside the bubble, I think this tournament is going to continue, and that I have a good feeling we are not only going to be completing the group stage, but this tournament is eventually going to get it done. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys leave a like, smash that subscribe button. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of these news on the board? And as always, if I didn't mention any news from this week that was on the board, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.